Hi and welcome back. If it's the first time we meet, my name is Silvia and this is Chats About Knits. So today I would like to start by sharing with you something that has me very excited, and it's my first test knit. It was quite a long time that I was hoping to test knit for someone else. Well, quite a long time. It's of course very relative since I've been knitting not for that long, but I really wanted to do a test knit for someone else, and I've come across this beautiful pattern. It's called the Affirmations Hat by Maria Walters, and as you can see, it's like this set with this double brim, like very big and chunky, and all this beautiful cable works. Lately I'm very much into cables, so I was drawn to it immediately, and I like hats with a double high brim. So I wanted to knit it. I got in contact with Maria, and here we are. I got my pattern, and I spent the weekend like furiously swatching for gauge, which I haven't gotten yet, but I am at my third swatch. So hopefully this one is the right one. But actually, you know what? Let's check it together. Let's see if for real the third time's a charm. And I got gauge this time. So keep your fingers crossed while I do this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows per inch. Let me write that down. 7 rows per inch. And then we got exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exactly 6 stitches per inch. Okay, so we said 6 stitches and 7 rows, and now let me check my pattern. So I need to get I didn't get gauge. Oh my god. This is so frustrating. Alright. I'm gonna get ready to go for a swatch number 4. So maybe I can tell you a bit about what I was using to swatch. And I've been using the last one. The one that you've just seen is this one. It's a baby alpaca from We Are Knitters. Lately I'm using this baby alpaca for everything that I'm knitting, mostly because I bought a humongous amount of this wool, and now I'm using it for all my projects. But I love it very much because it's so sweet. Sweet? Soft. It's so soft. It's really a joy to knit with it. So this was the first candidate for my test knit, and the second candidate was also, I'm gonna show it to you, also wool from We Are Knitters, and this is the Petit Wool. And I've been going for these very light colors that I like very much. I'm not sure I'm gonna look good with them, but that's a problem for later. I'll check it when it's done. So I've been swatching with both of these, and what happened is like that I wanted to try the baby alpaca because it's very soft, and that's definitely something I would love to have on top of my skin. Um, and that's surely an advantage. Maybe the disadvantages could be that I've heard more than once that alpaca, since there's less memory, less elasticity than wool, might not be as good for cabling. So, like, you might not get the same stitch definition that you could get with wool. And also, like, somehow this yarn seems much airier and lighter. So I was thinking that maybe it might not, also the swatch seems a bit like this, to give not as compact a fabric compared to the one of the petit wool. So this could be an advantage of the wool, to give a very thick texture that is for sure super good in a head, like, because you want to be warm and protected by the wind. On the other hand, this is quite thicker than my baby alpaca. So to get gauge, I was using quite small needles, and the texture was for sure very thick and dense. I was wondering, maybe a bit too much. It seemed to me almost a bit crumpled. And I was thinking that actually maybe too cable, this might not be a good thing. You don't want like your tension to be too tight and everything to be, yeah, indeed crumpled. I think it's the best word for it when you're cabling. No, you want a bit of room to wiggle and move around. So we will see. In any case, I didn't get cage. So I'm gonna try again. I think I'm gonna try again with the petit wool though, because I have to go up half one needle size. I'm gonna have to decide what's best. But that for sure would give for a slightly breathier fabric. So that might be good. In any case, if you have a preference, both, like if you use the yarn and you have a preference about how it feels and the final result, or even just the color, let me know. I would love to know what you think about this. And then a word about the head. I find it incredibly beautiful. I like it very much. I'm very happy. I'm gonna test knit. But then when I received the pattern, I had a moment of, oh wow, did I bite off more than I can chew? Because I was not expecting that there would be so many things that I have to learn about it. But actually, maybe you can hear it from the tone of my voice. This is actually getting me very excited. I love a challenge. I'm super excited about learning new things. So like, I'm very excited. Just I hope I will manage my time well, because we have 2 weeks to do that, and I really want I want to do a good job for Maria, give her good feedback, and be good on time. But then some of the features that are gonna be in the head, so you also are gonna get an idea, and maybe you would like to knit it yourself later on. So there is gonna be a provisional cast on, because it turns out that apparently the brim is not just folded, but it's really like made in one piece. So provisional cast on. There is gonna be some beautiful cabling, and there is gonna be this horizontal braid, which I find so beautiful, and I was very excited to learn about how to do that. I've already checked a photo tutorial. I get a bit confused. about it, but it's also to be said that I never learn very well from pictures. So what I like is just to check a bit around on YouTube for videos. I found 3 or 4 that I was just attracted to, so I saved them for later. Also because I have a tendency to overload. Like, I saw all of these things that I wanted to learn and research. So what I would normally do is like start to gather information and check all of them at the same time, and then at a certain point go in like maybe short circuit, like too much information. So for now, I've just saved them, and now I'm gonna focus all of my energy into swatching. Please keep your fingers crossed for me. That like this time I'm gonna make it. I feel I'm like, of course, not wasting, because when you're test knitting, to get gauge is super important. But like I'm using so much time on the swatch that I'm maybe getting a bit anxious. Like, I want it to be done and like start with the real pattern. But I know I have to take my time and do this well, because maybe you know that already, but especially if you're testing for someone else, gauge is super important. Like, when I do things for myself and I go a bit by the feeling, I don't always swatch, because apparently, as many other people, I don't enjoy it very much. But actually, if you think about it, even the difference of half a stitch can make a huge difference, because like half a stitch, if you, so half a stitch per inch, no? If you had one more and your total circumference, say, of a hat was 22 inches, then you're gonna be half a stitch 20 times more, 22, so that would be 11 stitches. And say your gauge is of 11 stitches per inch. But anyway, you see, if you have a small circumference, maybe it's not gonna change that much. But if you apply it half a stitch per inch on the circumference of a sweater, maybe you want it to get 0 positive ease, and you're gonna get, I don't know, 5 inches more, which is gonna be so much just for being off by half an inch. So I want to be super precise, because I need to give feedback about the measure, about my size, and I want to do that well. Then the other project I've been working on, I've talked about the shawl already. Look at this. It's going on slow but steady. I'm so happy with this. I like the color of this wool so much. Probably it's not going very well with my lipstick of today, but I love it. I love this stitch. The only concern I have about the shawl is that I feel is growing in side length much faster than it does in height, which maybe it's not a problem at all, I don't know. But then I started to have a lot of doubts about the fact that actually this yarn calls for a size 8mm hook. That would be, I believe, an 11 US. But the biggest needle I have, it's a 6,5. So I use that because I don't know if you've ever seen it, but the wool from We Are Knitters, that's the wool from We Are Knitters, that's the yarn I'm using. You see, it's like, that's why I like it so much. It's spun very unevenly. So you would have a very thin part that then becomes thicker and then thinner again and thicker. So I decided to try my chances with a smaller hook because I thought in any case it's not going to be very chunky all over the place. And you can see here what came out. It's a very, very thick texture, which I love very much. I like it. But then, since when I started having all of these concerns, I just tried to knit more loosely. Check what a difference it made. And then I started to wonder, do I actually like it more? Like a bit more airy, a bit more breathy. On the other hand though, it's a shawl that I'm knitting because I want something very warm. So do I actually want it to be breathier and lighter, or do I want it very thick? And then I also thought, maybe when I block it, I can just go a bit aggressively and like stretch it to its height, and maybe that's gonna be enough. And then I also thought, do I actually want to unravel it all and get a bigger hook? Or like just try to knit much more loosely? Although this is not a very reliable way, right, to do things. Just trusting that I'm gonna crochet more loosely. Anyway, I don't know why I got all of these doubts because I'm very in love with this shawl. So whatever, as I say, whatever happens, gonna be a success. I'm sure about it because I just like it so much. And I was telling Charlotte, who's my friend I knit together with, I mentioned her already in the first episode. We met each other to knit yesterday afternoon. And I was telling her about the shawl. She would like to crochet it as well. That I like it so much because it's basically 5 double crochet, 1 single, 5 double, 1 single, 5 double, 1 single, over and over again. And it becomes this very hypnotic kind of movement that I find so extremely relaxing. Actually, even more than knitting. Because I find personally, it's still a bit more varied than knitting. There's a certain complexity to the movement. But then after the 3rd row you crochet, then your hand and arm know exactly what they have to do. And they just move in this kind, I described it as kind of a dance between your hand, the hook, and the yarn. It's just so beautiful. So if you're looking for, if you like crocheting, but maybe even if you don't like it or you think you don't like it, no, if you don't, of course, you don't have to try it. But maybe if you're just a bit on the fence about crocheting, I think this shawl is such a beautiful, beautiful project to do it with. And personally, I think, of course, I haven't tried it with another yarn, so I cannot really compare. But just to say that I am so happy that I have used the wave from We Are Knitters, because it gives an entirely different texture than a yarn that is spun evenly. So if you want to give it a try, it's also environmentally responsible, so I love it very, very much. Last thing, I would like to give you an update, which is a non-update on my sweater. You remember the one that was finished over a month ago and I just had to seam together? It's not happened yet. It's unbelievable. I don't know if I will ever get to wear that sweater, which is a pity because I thought was very, very beautiful. Although I'm finding some peace of mind now because I think that's a kind of mid-season sweater because it has very airy stitches. I knit it with very big needles, so it's not gonna be extremely warm. Not at all, I think. So it's gonna be perfect for autumn and spring, mid-seasons where you might like to have something over but you don't really need something extremely warm. So, come to that. I still have a few months to seam it together before I can actually use it. So, if you have any tip about getting back, no, not even, about finding a seaming mojo, please let me know because I could really, really use that. I guess that's all for today. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I'll see you soon. Bye.